All right.
We're ready. We're ready. Welcome to City of Heroes. This is Paragon City, one of the largest cities in the United States in our game universe, the place where heroes first appeared in the early part of the 20th century, hence its name, City of Heroes. The city, unfortunately, has been suffering as of late. The alien interdimensional entities known as the Ricti have attacked and assaulted the Earth.
What's the name?
The Ricti, R-I-K-T-I. The Ricti have decimated the city, and the city, as a result, needs help from the players, the heroes. In this case, Rick has gone into the Freedom Phalanx headquarters to get a mission. Somewhere, lurking, is the fifth column, and they're up to no good. The hero, he needs to go and stop them. The villains are trying to take advantage of Paragon City's momentary weakness.
Is this a local server or you actually picked up?
Local. It's on the way. When you receive a mission, only you and your designated teammates can actually go out on this particular mission. This way, nobody can steal your kills, your loot, or anything like that. Up to 8 people can participate in a mission. The mission itself will be balanced to face the opposition that enters in. So people from a wide variety of experience levels can enter in combat foes. Now, another thing about missions is that each of the mission environments, here, a fifth column bunker, is unique to the particular villain organization. There are 10 organizations that have very different types of areas in which they're located. For instance, the fifth column is here in an underground bunker. The Cray Industries, you'll be fighting in offices and in laboratories. There are 10 different mission objectives. Here we're chasing a villain. Sometimes you'll be freeing hostages, other times disarming bombs, recovering clues, and so forth. Now, in combat, you activate powers by depressing the icon on your tray in the lower right-hand corner, or you can hit a hotkey associated with it. You may have a number of trays, each one perhaps designated for different uses, stealth, offensive, defensive, and so forth. In combat, you can also target different areas of whatever you're attacking: head, chest, legs, hands. Each different attack has a different advantage and disadvantage. Hitting a foe in the head is harder, but you might stun them and they're temporarily disabled. You can also assume an overall more offensive or defensive posture. A more offensive attack means that you'll do more damage, but you'll be easier to hit because you'll leave yourself wide open. Defensive, you'll be harder to hit, but your attacks won't do as much damage. Now, as Rick is racing through here, you should also notice that during combat, he remains moving. You don't get locked down in combat. Overall, fighting is much fiercer and much more furious than you would find in other games. Here, your average minion takes 3 or 4 hits, but there's going to be lots of them, and it's bang, bang, bang. So you're going to be jumping, teleporting, flying all around, but the villains are going to be doing the very same thing. Now, as Rick races to the conclusion of this particular mission, I should note what the 3 objectives and end goals are. Namely, once you accomplish a mission, you'll get experience, you'll get fame, and you'll get money. Each of those 3 things have very specific gameplay advantages. Fame, for instance, measures how successful a hero you are. You accomplish a mission, your fame goes up. You don't accomplish a mission, your fame goes down. You don't play for months at a time, your fame goes down. Fame lets you know how successful a hero you are and also how well known you are. Because your name will start appearing in the newspaper. If you're famous, you'll start appearing on billboards. Maybe a statue will be put up in your name. Money is also something that we're about to see how useful it is. Once Rick has finished off the last vestiges, he's found his villain, I think. Here he comes. And Rick's about to make short work of him. He's a scientifically created vampire, Nosferatu. Oh, there's one more guy that he's going to find. Oh, there he is. Boom, mission complete. Now, what do you use money for? Well, sometimes you're not so lucky to complete a mission right away like that. Sometimes you end up dying, like right now. And when you die, you spawn in a hospital nearby. All of your health is recovered. You take a slight hit to your bank account to pay for the medical bills. You also take a slight fame and experience point loss. You can also spend money on items. Now, the majority of focus is on superpowers. This is a game of superheroes. However, this doesn't mean that items aren't useful. For for one hero type in particular, they need items in order to function and compete. That's the superior human. Rick's going to run on down to the store at super speed and then do a super leap so you can have an idea of what those powers are like, and then also what a store looks like. This is a store that any hero might be able to get into. However, there are certain stores that have special items and special things which you need a fame, high-level fame to get. Fame opens up item opportunities, but also different missions, different areas of the city like hazard zones, which we'll cover in a moment. Now, the other reward after fame is experience. Experience increases your powers and your abilities. When you first choose a character, you choose their avatar, male, female, or gargantuan male. You choose an origin type of one of 7, and then you also choose your powers and skills. You spend a beginning level amount of points on each, and whenever you gain experience points, you can return back to your headquarters or to another hero organization to increase your stats or your powers.
Did you say 7 types of the...
Leaping has height, or flight has control, height, and speed. So you can invest your points differently. Perhaps one player might put all the score is literally billions of different combinations between color, geometry, and mask. We've tried to capture the essence of a variety of different costume types. Anything from, if you look at our pamphlet, from the manga-inspired or Dragon Ball Z martial artist, the big tough guy in the back, your Kamen Rider, such as your Insectoid, something you might see even in Power Rangers, your patriotic hero, the 4-color person in the foreground, who actually happens to be me in the game, your medieval-looking magician on the front cover, perhaps in suspended animation, returned to fight evil again after a long time. Here, Rick has changed his traditional hero in tights to an armored character. Now, we've talked about the rewards for going on missions. Gameplay. Another element of gameplay besides missions is in fact going into a hazard zone. These are areas of the city so dangerous that they're in fact overrun with threats and foes. Now, as soon as he gets out, boom, he's under attack. You'll also notice that this hazard zone is totally ruined and decimated from the war against the Rick team. There are lots of different types of zones throughout the city. The city itself is made up of 40 zones, 36 square miles. There are ruined zones, downtown areas like we've just been in. There's also happens to be industrial areas or slums or high-tech areas. It's a living, breathing city, albeit one with superheroes, supervillains, and aliens. Now, the third gameplay feature is the arena, an area where one player can face off against another player, team against another team in a variety of game environments. There will be tournaments, ranking systems, and so forth for people who enjoy facing off against live opponents. City of Heroes also has an adaptive storyline. The behavior of each of the villain groups is affected by how the heroes on each server, or continuity as we call it, goes. So in other words, if a hero group is successful against the 5th column, they might become sneakier, more stealthy. Or if they fail on a particular server, they become more famous, they'll have that much more of an impact over what goes on. Individual teams, as they become famous, as they acquire resources, can rent space in the city, build their own headquarters, and eventually become one of the leading institutions in the city. They become the ones giving the missions out, instead of having to go somewhere else. They're the ones who really begin affecting what goes on. Now, that, in a nutshell, is what City of Heroes is about. I'm going to give my voice the rest and let Rick take over and answer your individual